Hey everyone, we're back for another workout of the day. Today is 5 rounds for time. It is called Summer Sizzle. It is 10 stone throws, 20 kettlebell swings, 10 burpees, 20 sit-ups, 10 bent over rows, and 20 weighted lunges. So we're going to go through all of those movements and the modifications, and then you can get started. All right, so the first movement is going to be our stone throws. So ideally, it's called a stone throw because you would do it with a stone, but we're not doing it with stone. We're going to replace the stone with a med ball. So the heavier the med ball, remember, the better the form you need. So you're going to grip, you're going to come down into a squat. Your knees are coming out, your toes are slightly pointed outward. You're going to stay nice and upward and straight. You're going to grab it with two hands, lift up the stone or the med ball, and then just roll it over on top of your shoulder. And then you're going to switch shoulders each time. Now, if it is an actual stone ball that you're using, you're going to grip and you're going to have to grab it and roll it up that way. Same thing with as heavy as you want. The heavier you go, the more you're really going to have to bring it in tight and roll it over. You don't want to be just picking it up and throwing it over. You want to roll over the shoulder, switching each time. So now you can use a lighter ball for this, for modifications. If you don't have a ball, I'm going to just tell you to go ahead and you can do goblet squats, knees out, toes out. So you're going to come down nice and straight. You're going to squat and come back up, keeping those feet flat on the ground. Your back and core is tight as you come down, supporting that weight. And you can also, do it to a bench if you need to as well, or without the weight. Just don't throw, your kettlebell around. That won't be good. The next thing, speaking of kettlebells, is the kettlebell swing. So just go over the movement real quick. We want to be a little slightly wider than hip width apart. We are bending at the hips. So we're coming back, we're bringing our butt back, and we're bending here, keeping our back nice and straight. Our knees are going to be slightly bent when we're coming back. And then as we come forward, we're swinging, we're using the momentum of our hips to swing up the weight. So you're not pulling the weight, you're using the momentum to swing. So how we know exactly where we're going and what we're doing is we want to make sure that the outside of our wrist touches the inside of our thigh when we come back. And we're going to squeeze our butt at the top. The more momentum you have, the higher the swing it will go. We want to try to get at least eye height. You can always look in a mirror or videotape yourself to see exactly what you're doing or what you're not doing or how high you're getting the kettlebell. Things you don't want to do is bend your knees and do like a squat thrust kind of thing, because just like a swing on a playground, it goes like this. And then if you're trying to take that swing and go up, you're not gonna get the momentum to pull you're doing more pulling than momentum with your legs and hips there. So if you're touching above that wrist, you're probably squatting down, or you could be bending too far down, which is going to cause more strain on that lower back. So make sure you're keeping that chest up. You're only coming down to here, and then you're using that momentum to swing up the weight. So facing you, this is what it will look like. And again, we want to come to about eye height from the side. And again, my chest is up, my back is straight. I'm squeezing my my glutes at the top there. If you don't have a kettlebell, but you have a dumbbell, you can go ahead and use the dumbbell just like a kettlebell, gripping the top and doing the same movement. Or you can use a band. Now, the band, I will warn you, is not exactly the same. You're going to use more pull with your arms than the momentum of the swing in your hips and legs. But you're going to step on the band and you're going to pull it back through, around, and through your legs there. And you're going to do that same movement as you come back. And you're going to squeeze that butt at the top. Again. So those are the different movements there. The next one is our lovely burpee, which everybody loves. So we're going to come down and kick our legs all the way out until they're straight in this nice plank position. Come down, touch the ground, push yourself back up, and you're going to jump towards those hands and finish with a jump at the top. This is what it looks like. Modification would be a half burpee. So you're just going to come down, kick those legs out into that plank position, skip the push-up, and just jump at the top. You can also use a bench or a box, and you can do a burpee with or without the push-up on the bench. So you're going to kick out, come down. Just make sure you stand all the way to the top. Don't just kick back and forth. Or you can do it without the push-up. Like so. Okay. The next movement is our sit-up. So we're going to come all the way down until our shoulders are touching the ground. And we're going to come up and touch those feet, squeezing those abs, letting the abs do the work back and forth. Modification, coming up to the knees. Try to get the back all the way off the ground if you can. And if you also need to, you can also either do flutter kicks, making sure that you're pressing your back into the ground, or you can do leg raises, keeping those shoulders off the ground, squeezing those abs. You can also do it on a bench if you can't get down to the ground. So you can either do a sit-up on the bench, right? And you're going to come back, trying to keep those heels on the ground, really squeezing those abs. You can also, or you can do flutter kicks on the bench as well. Okay, next movement is our bent over row. I'm going to show you different ways to do it. We're going to start with the barbell. So the important part with the bent over row is that when we bend over, if we're not using a bench, we want to bend at the hips. We're keeping our back straight, our core tight, and we're going to let our arms hang in front of us. So they shouldn't be out there. They shouldn't be in here. They're going to be out there. So we want to make sure we're squeezing our shoulders back so that we're not putting this extra strain on our shoulders here. So squeeze your shoulders back, and then you're going to pull to about 90-degree angle. And what you're not going to do is do this kipping pull, which I see so many times on so many people's videos and in the gym. Drives me crazy. So that's a good way to hurt yourself. So you really don't want to be moving anything but your arms. So if you find yourself kind of kipping up, it means the weight's too heavy. So pick a lighter weight. So with the barbell, we're going to come down, bending at the hips. Our knees are slightly bent. And I'm squeeze my shoulders back. And I'm gonna come up to about 90 degrees using only my arms, but keeping my core and my shoulders and everything tight. From the side view, again, we're gonna come down, squeezing my shoulders, my back is straight, and I'm coming up to that 90-degree angle using only my arms and not trying to kip up like a weirdo. Okay. You can also do the bent over row with dumbbells. So it's the same movement, squeezing the shoulders, coming up together, or you can do this, or you can do one at a time. So do 5 on each side, one knee, one hand on the bench, squeezing your shoulders back flat, coming up to that 90-degree angle, using only that arm, not trying to kip it up or pull it up in a weird way. You can also use a band. So you're going to step inside the band. Again, hinging at the hips, squeezing the shoulders, and pulling back. The next one is our weighted lunges. So let's just go over the lunge movement first. We're going to step forward into a 90-degree angle. So 90 degrees here, 90 degrees here. We're going to use that front foot to help push us back up. We're keeping our chest straight. So the modification would be without weight. But if you're going without weight, make sure you're not leaning forward as you come up, and make sure you're not using your leg as support. So when you do that, you start leaning forward, you're going to put all this pressure on this hip and knee, and your back is going to be out of whack there. And it's going to create a very bad situation. So don't do that. So with the weight, you can either use a dumbbell in a front rack position, so you're holding it here and coming down, again, keeping yourself up nice and upright. Your core is tight. You can use 2 dumbbells in the suitcase carry. Don't let the dumbbells pull you forward. You want to squeeze those shoulders back, and you're going to have them at your side, keeping yourself upright the whole time. You can use a band. It's just you're gonna have to do one leg at a time. So you can either hold a band like this or overhead. And again, you'll just have to do 10 on each side with the band. So, one other thing, for another modification, for those who really having a hard time getting down, you can have a bench set up, and you can use this bench to kind of help push you up, but try not to allow yourself to do this, because now my back is twisted. So it's just one hand, and if you can't get all the way down, that's okay. But you can use that as a place to steady yourself. So that is the workout. It is 5 rounds of all those things. Mark down your time, your weights, and your movements. Revisit, check your progress. Visit our website for all of our programs that we offer, www.macromachinecoaching.com. Book a one-on-one consultation, figure out which program's right for you, or maybe it's not right for you. But check us out, book an appointment, and I'll